This canoe is about 16 feet long. We built the canoe in the Kedrokojik National Park in Nova Scotia, and it's in the traditional land of the Mi'kmaq people and my direct ancestors. As I was building, we never know what we're going to etch on the canoe, but I always say the voices of our ancestors are very loud at times, and our ancestors are always with us as we build and as we harvest and pay respect. And this time, very clearly, I could hear the voices of the children, the ones that never came home from the residential schools. So a lot of these handprints and footprints are there because the children, the spirits of these children, want to be heard as well. Our only means of travel was by walking. We didn't have, horses or things like that. And walking, we had to carry everything. And so the Birch Bark Canoe allowed us to carry several hundred pounds at one time and to travel quite easily over the water. Before you build a canoe, you need birch bark. Without birch bark, you can't build a canoe. So great-grandfather said one time in an article in a newspaper that we just recently found, he said, in order to build a canoe, you need a birch tree that's 24 inches across on the butt, right on the base of the tree. And in my lifetime, I've never seen one that big. He also said it would take him 7 days to build a canoe. But with a tree that big, he didn't have to sew much of the bark. But I can't find trees that big, so I need to find various pieces of bark and sew them all together with spruce root. Well, I always say that it's always hard for me to see them go because they always take a little piece of me with them because, I put my heart and soul into what I do. And I use a lot of winter bark. And winter bark is the bark that you can scrape, make the different designs. So on that canoe, I put a lot of the petroglyphs. I learned a lot from my father. He passed away in 2002, so he didn't see any of my full-size canoes. But he told us a lot of things, and one of the things he told us was about nature and how it's important to listen and to observe and watch nature. And he said, Mother Nature is always teaching us, and our ancestors knew that, and they learned from that. But he said, today a lot of people don't pay attention. And he said, one thing he told me is that Mother Nature is trying to send us messages all the time, but only some people are hearing messages. And today, with the environment and the climate crisis, it's even more important to pay attention.